Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
What's going on? I am Scoots Bronson.
And I am S. Foster, and welcome to Viewers Anonymous, man. How we feeling? Everything good?
Man, everything is good. Everything is great, man. Coming off of a beautiful, Father's Day weekend. Happy belated Father's Day to all the fathers out there, and to you as well, my brother. Yeah, man, everything good. How you holding up?
Man, I'm holding up all right, man. I appreciate that, man. And happy Father's Day to you and all the other fathers out there. You know what I'm saying? This was an eventful weekend. You know, today
Say the least.
my ass. Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to call it put on the bed, but
Right.
you know what I'm saying. But we had his service. But he decided, that he wanted to be cremated, so it was a different, kind of service because we didn't do the whole burial thing. But
more like a celebration.
Yeah, man, and it was, man.
Yeah,
It was like it was, because I'm not the one to write notes and shit. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, I was, I even shared it with you. I shared with other people, and everybody was like, man, speak from the heart, because I did a tribute in the thing, and like, dude, like, I was so at ease because like everybody had jokes. Everybody went up there, told funny stories. His family had this whole little running joke going. I had a couple of running jokes going, and so and then my dad go up there, and that was I was surprised because it was a tough act to follow. Man, Pops went up there and did his thing, man, and then I go after him. I'm like, dang, man, you gonna make me follow that? And man, let me tell you, my guy, Scoots, I went up there, I grabbed that mic, but everything I wanted to say was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
it was like it was gone.
You had to speak from the heart, man.
I did,
That's
man. I got my one joke off though. I got my one joke off. You know what I'm saying? That I did remember because, like, you know what I'm saying? Let me tell you how I set it up, right? Because April told me, she said, because we talked after it, and she was like, you had me sweating. And I was like, because I said beforehand, I said, well, Aunt's one of Aunt's favorite quotes. I was like, I'm trying to think if I want to say this in church. And she was like, what? I was like, Aunt, what I always say, you know what I'm saying? The Bible is a book. It's a good book, but it's not the only book. And you got to be knowledgeable of all things. And she looked at me and said, yeah, that's probably not a good idea. So I get up there, I'm talking. And then I'm gonna have to send you the link, man, because like they had that group that I sent you, they recorded the whole thing.
Yeah, I seen some of it. And
I started speaking, I think around like the 57 mark.
Okay.
And so I said the way I set it up was I said, so I gotta say something. And I was like, and I know we in the house of the Lord, but I gotta say something. And then you hear the room like, uh-oh. And she said that's when she started sweating. And all I said was, it ain't what y'all think. I said it's just a little alcohol reference. I was like, y'all remember? I said, y'all remember the Dosaki commercials of the most interesting man? I said, hey, buddy. I said, well, that was Unc, man. I said he was the most interesting man in the world.
Yeah.
And then I brought up a couple of stories of like how he just happened to be at certain places at certain times. So I was able to throw a little something together, man. But it was one of those things. And then like the church that we went to, it's like our like family church.
Oh, okay.
And so like a lot of my family members are buried out there. So you know what I'm saying? I walked out and saw my Grams, you know what I'm saying? Went and saw her grave and everything. So it was an eventful weekend, man. So
that's good, man. That's good. That's real good. That help you you know what I'm saying, get your mind off of stuff and you know what I'm saying, reset yourself. It's always necessary to reset yourself, man. So did you cry?
You know what? I didn't, man.
Really?
I think I got it all out that day. Like my thing was, it was so weird because the day that I found out that Saturday, like I told you before, it was like, dude, it's like it's so weird because it was like I told myself, all right, you gotta be cool, you gotta be cool. And it's like as soon as I got in the car and I knew I was by myself and nobody was with me, and then it was like
It
I
just
could
came out.
not stop.
Yeah, it just came out.
And then it was like, all right, so I finally got it to stop. But then once I went into Unc's house, and it's like I never
Came
come
right
here when
back.
he's not here. It came right back,
Yeah.
and then it was just like I couldn't stop. But like that day, like his family, dude, like you think Unc is, dude, his whole family is just like him. Like,
Oh
dude, it
man.
is so crazy. Listen, so one of his grandsons, Tori, went up, right? He came up after me. So, obviously I mentioned the podcast.
Yeah.
And so, so I get done speaking. And then Tori comes up and he was like, hey, I'm Tori. Nah, nah, nah. And he was like, dude, you gave that man a mic?
Yeah.
Hey, but everybody was about to start laughing. He was like, I cannot believe you gave that man a mic. He was like, and you know how much he liked to talk. He was like, I can't. He said, I cannot believe somebody gave him a mic. He was like, man, that was something detrimental to the world that I gave him a mic. But it was so great, man. Like it was like, dude, it was genuinely a good time.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I'm
what's
saying?
up,
A couple of family members came to me afterwards.
bro.
Like as soon as it was over, like his son Douglas came up to me and he was just like, dude, boy, you don't know how much that podcast meant to him. He was like, he would call me all the time and just talk about you and that podcast and how much he loved to do it and all that stuff. Then Tori came back up to me. He exchanged his number with me. He was like, hit me up anytime.
Yeah.
And his daughter came up to me. One of his granddaughters had came up, so it was cool, man. It was real cool. Everybody
Well,
was.
see, it's super dope though, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying, not only did, you know what I'm saying, y'all do the podcast together, but now, you know what I'm saying, they still got something to go back and, you know what I'm saying, listen to him talk and they still can hear his voice and you know what I mean? That's dope, bro. That's real dope. Cause you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, they don't get that chance to, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't have, well, with these recent generations. Like they don't have those. Because, people used to have like family tapes, you know what I'm saying? Dad used to
Yep.
carry around it, you know what I'm saying? They don't have those, you know what I mean? Like they don't have those memories. And you know what I'm saying? It always makes you feel better when you can go back and listen to and hear that voice and you know what I'm saying, and all that. So I think that's dope that, you know what I'm saying, he was able to leave behind something for them to still you know what I'm saying, connect to, you know what I'm saying, to him, you know what I'm saying, and hear him, you know what I'm saying, when they don't feel at ease at certain times, they can go and listen and, you know what I'm saying, still hear his voice. I think that's fire, bro.
And then the last thing that I'll say about it is, Tori also said while he was speaking up there, and I had to let him know. I said, dude, it wasn't your idea. I said, 'cause we did a podcast Wednesday, and I said this
Yeah.
already. But he was just like, after he was like, man, you gave this man a mic, and then he was just like, man, you're gonna have to end that podcast because that's a huge,
Yeah.
voice to fill.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, look, I don't want you to think it was your idea. I said, but I've already said that I
Yeah.
was gonna end that podcast, man. Because I said, can't nobody replace him.
At
You know
all,
what I'm
bro.
saying?
At all.
He's
It's too
irreplaceable.
much. It's too much knowledge and too much wisdom, man, and too much experience to, you know what I'm saying, to be able to sit right there and think that you'll be able to fill those shoes. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, it's like
I feel you.
some things like it's just, you know, even now. Don't get me wrong, because it was after Joe. It was, I think it was Star, and then they brought Wayno in. But everyday struggle wasn't the same. Like
Nah.
Joe is just one of those people. Nobody's gonna sit up there and turn red, yelling at some shit. That's great.
But
Like,
see, and I mean that's just like with the JBP. Like everybody keep talking about how they think the JBP ain't gonna last, and it's like what people fail to realize is, nigga, Joe was the catalyst for the whole show. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like as much. Well, I'm saying it wrong. As polarizing as he is, You know what I'm saying? You either love him or hate him, but either way, you still gonna tune in to see, you know what I'm saying, what he's gonna talk about, what he's gonna say, what he's gonna do. And you know what I'm saying, like even with the addition of Ice and Ish, like, bro, it's to me, there's not really of a difference, except for the fact that now this pod is a little bit more mature than the one with Rory and Mal. You know what I'm saying? But you still got parts that he, you know what I'm saying, he's still throwing his jokes and shit in there. You still got Savon and them still doing their thing. So with the addition of Ice and Ish, I just feel like now that they talking about certain topics that weren't being talked about before. And on top of that, like I feel like the Ice and Ish interact a little bit more compared to Rory and Mal. So I mean, yeah, man, it's just like you said, Joe is just he's the centerpiece of it all, bro. And you know, once he left, bro, everyday struggle wasn't, you know what I'm saying? People that I don't think people realize how valuable he was to that show.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like look, me and you've been talking behind the scenes. Wayno's Hear Me Out. That's dope fucking
great.
podcast.
That pod is amazing.
Like, he's dope, but he didn't bring like Joe is just different. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that the show was canceled because of Wayno. You know what I'm saying? It was just Joe just brought a different kind of energy.
I think that with the addition of Wayno, it lasted as long as it did because you had a guy like Wayno on there. You know what I'm saying? Like when it went from Joe to Star, I think they tried to use Star to fill Joe's position, but it wasn't the same thing because Star ain't, you know what I'm saying? He don't have that same experience that Joe got. But then when you add somebody like Wayno in there who been in the music industry and been in the business and everything else, and then you got him who he ain't like super loud and rambunctious, but at the same time, like, you know what I'm saying, he got a sternness about himself. So when he actually talking to academics and doing certain shit, it's like, oh yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like he got a way of carrying himself, which I think helped that show last for as long as it did.
Yeah, and last point, another you take Charlamagne out the Breakfast Club.
Oh no, it's not the same. It's not the same.
It's over. There's only certain people, and yes, and if people see the correlation, yes, I am putting Uncle Washington in that category. I am like he was just different, and there's nobody else.
It don't hit the same. Even when you get a guess, it don't hit the same without Uncle Washington.
Yeah, it's just different. So rest in peace to my guy. I love him. So you know, but man, listen, we got a guy. I started off this way. You know what I'm saying? Uncle Washington, he used to say this all the time. He was like, listen, if I was a GM, I would have got fired. He said, I would not have drafted this guy. He
really?
said, I don't like, he said it all the time. He said, I do not like small players.
Oh, okay. That's right. Okay. That's right.
And he said, I would have got fired for this guy and Chris Paul. He said, because I don't like small guards.
Yeah. Amen.
But this doc we got today, we doing it on a man. Listen, everybody knows. I've been talking about this dude way before I even got a podcast.
A man. This dude is not a man. He is a legend. He is a
whole legend.
He is basketball royalty. This dude is, man. Listen, he was literally the face of the NBA, bro.
He was
literally the face of the NBA. I think more so like I don't even think like LeBron been at this level. The only other person that was probably at this level is Michael Jordan. But I don't even think like LeBron got to his level.
No. As much as I love LeBron. but this is the thing about LeBron though. Even LeBron admits. Yeah, now don't get me wrong, he idolized Michael Jordan, yes. But he's always said in interviews, I wanted to be Allen Iverson.
Everybody wanted to be Allen Iverson. And this is what's so dope about it, right? LeBron was famous at what, 15, 16, maybe 13, 14 at the least. You know what I'm saying? And he was literally like on covers and all this other shit. I mean, he was the man. Don't get me wrong. I was in Ohio. I know how all that shit felt. I know how all the craze felt. I remember, nigga, we ain't even in goddamn Akron. and they would play that nigga highlights in Dayton, and that shit ain't had nothing to do with our leagues or nothing. They was just showing this nigga constantly. So, I remember when he came down here and beat up on fucking Ketter and Alter, and he tore their ass out the frame. So when I tell you, like, I remember this dude literally being the talk of the town and getting drafted number one, being the man going to Cleveland, all this shit. Even at his height, he still couldn't get to where Allen Iverson was. He still wouldn't be where Allen Iverson was.
So true,
I honestly think that Allen Iverson was at his peak more famous than Michael Jordan.
I would say yes, because the thing about Jordan was Jordan changed the game with his dunks and his shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Allen Iverson changed the whole image.
Yes.
Not only that, he changed the way people played, the way they dressed, the way they got tattoos, the way they did their hair. Jordan didn't do all of that. Exactly. Yeah, jewelry, and he combined hip hop with basketball. Like
that nigga made people wear Reeboks.
Man, you ain't lying. Well, I don't know. Wait a minute. Well, hold on.
Shaq wasn't doing it.
Shaq was first.
Nah, because not like that though.
Everybody didn't have those.
That's what I'm saying.
But I will say, because this, man, all this stuff is kind of tinkering around the same time. Those shouldn't count kamikazes though.
Pumps, the pumps and all that. I remember all them, the Shaq Gnosis, the kamikazes, all the Kobe's, all them was cool. They was not the Iversons though.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that
when I mean like he had people like Shaq, cool. Like now niggas is going to get the Shaqs. Now niggas is going to get the Kemps and all them, you know what I'm saying? Like now niggas is even trying to go find the old D Rose joints. But when I say like nigga Iverson probably got, I think Iverson was probably the first retro Reebok.
Well, I mean, okay, now you're talking. Okay, I gotta give you some pushback right here.
Okay,
because you're talking like I don't know.
No, like I know you know. I had every pair of Iverson. You had them. That's what I'm saying. But I'm talking for the people. I think Iverson literally had the first retro Reebok. But not only that though, like just think about the short time span that it took for him to get to where he was at. Right?
Yes.
It was only like what, 5 years at the most.
And that's what I was
really it was really less than that.
Yeah, because I remember when we was talking for the coming soon, and you were saying like 98, 99, and I was like, I don't know, dude. I was like 96, people was fucking with him then, like when he 100%. First got drafted.
No, but what I was saying was like when he was the man, though. Like 98, 99, he was the man.
Yeah, yeah, but 2001 was a whole nother level. But we'll get there. We'll get there. But but we're doing the documentary self-entitled Iverson. It's actually like a Showtime documentary. So if you got anything Showtime, it's on there. That's where you can find it.
You can watch it on Amazon Prime.
It's on there too?
Yeah, that's
okay. Did you have to pay for it?
Nah. It was
on there. Okay, cool.
You gotta watch it with ads, but I mean that's cool.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And came out in 2014. It goes over his life, man, and since it's a documentary, man, we gotta go with the flow, man. It started out in his childhood, Newport News is where it all started.
Bad News, Virginia.
Yeah, man. Hey, but it was rough, man. And then the one thing about Allen though, I think there's a little parallel. I can't remember how young you said you were, but it's a little different because Allen Iverson don't necessarily know who his dad is, right. But his mom was dating a guy, and he was like he called him his dad. He was like he's been there since he was 3 months old. So obviously, this was a dude that was, what I'm saying, got to get a man surprise. I mean, to be messing with a woman with a 3-month-old baby, I think she was 16, 17, but she had him really young. And But Allen said, he was in and out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
He was really with the street life. And that also left his mom to deal with a lot of shit on her own, and then he had younger sisters,
Yeah.
and couldn't keep the lights on, couldn't really, he was like, that's like Uncle Washington. He was like, dude, I didn't know that I had it that bad until people started telling me I had it bad.
Yeah. I mean, you
And
don't realize, you know what I'm saying, your reality until you step out into actual reality. You know what I mean? Like you think then that's just commonplace. You think that everybody get their lights cut off. You think that everybody got to eat noodles and hot dogs. You think everybody, you know what I'm saying, uh can only get a couple pieces of bread so everybody else can get bread too. You know what I'm saying? Like you think that it's only, it's only normal to have one box of cereal in the house. Like, so when you growing up like that, that's just common shit. You know what I'm saying? You don't even consider that type of shit until, you enter somebody else's world or enter actual reality where you see that, oh, you go over, your friend's house and this nigga got 6 boxes of cereal on the thing. You thinking like, damn, these niggas is rich. And you really don't know no better. Or, instead of y'all eating hot dogs, they eating Polish sausages and shit. Like, off the grill. You know what I mean? Like, not even boiled. They eating them off the grill. You like, oh man, y'all barbecue and shit. Like, y'all got a barbecue pit. I remember, like, going to see, well, I don't want to put it like that, but like I remember like friends who had pools and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
my one of my best friends in his backyard, you know what I'm saying, his dad got them a pool and shit. And it was just like, damn, like bro, y'all got a pool, bro. Like that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Like that type shit. But you know what I'm saying? Like to us, it was something extraordinary. And then, in all actuality, it was just something that, you should actually be able to afford. You know what I'm saying? If things were done correctly in the world, everybody would be able to afford these things and everybody would be able to, enjoy the certain luxuries in life.
true, man. Like, and I mean, cause I've been there where it's like you go over a friend's house and you like, damn, man, y'all got this, y'all got that. It's like,
Yeah.
damn, I ain't even got that in my crib. And like, and like for me, it was like, I mean, I was in a situation where when I was with my mom, like I had my own room, you know what I'm saying? It was
Mm-hmm.
me, my mom, and my sister and all this type of shit. But you know what I'm saying? I wanted to live with my pops. And
Yeah.
then I go to my pops, it's a full house. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's my grandma, it's my dad's brother and his son and my aunt.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a house full, and I'm sharing the bed with my dad and my cousin sleeping in the room too. And then my
Yeah.
other cousin would get out of jail, they'll get a fold out bed and put him in the room with us. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you think that's what life is, because like I lived, you know what I'm saying, with everybody, like, Big Mama's house and all the type shit. Like
Yeah.
I lived at Big Mama's house. So everybody
Yeah.
was spending the night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's just what life is. And so Alan talked about how, he was in the streets, but the one great thing about Alan, and I think that he wouldn't have got there, like it ain't no doubt in my mind, I think he would even admit,
Mm-hmm.
if he didn't have these certain people in his childhood, he would have never got anywhere. I mean, he basically had this was his football coach, his youth football coach, took him
Mm-hmm.
in and he lived there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
And
for
Jamie and Jamie's mom, you know what I'm saying? They was
yeah,
I think
like
that's
before,
what I think that was his name.
yeah,
Before the
and that was
football
the
thing.
yeah, that was dope that he had, and
Yeah.
and that's why I say, man, like for people to try to give that perception of, like, when I mean, we'll get there when we get there, but the whole
Mm-hmm.
broad thing is perception that he was racist. You know what I'm saying? It's like this dude says, like, yo, like
Yeah.
my first guy, like my first best friend
Yeah.
was a white
Literally.
kid that stayed next door.
Literally. And he and
And
the reason that they was cool because, you know what I'm saying, he wanted to protect them because, you know what I'm saying, he felt like, you know what I'm saying, people was bullying them and fucking with him and shit like that. Like to
yeah,
me, I feel like this documentary at first, because when it first come on, they throw you for a loop because they got the little kids talking and shit, and the little kids like,
yeah,
yeah, I wouldn't want to talk to him. I wouldn't say he a good person out in public and blah 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 blah. He great on the basketball court, but he ain't even, you know what I'm saying? So like when you first see it, it's like, damn, is this gonna be like one of them smear campaigns? And then when you actually get into it and you see that, you know what I'm saying, this is a dude who at the end of the day, he really just wanted to protect his people. He really just wanted to provide for his people, you know what I'm saying, and make sure that everybody was straight, because that's the type of person he was, you know what I'm saying? Like he was a giving person. He actually gave a fuck about people. So like the fact that, you know what I'm saying, him and his best friend was best friends because he looked out for dude, you know what I'm saying? Like he wouldn't let people bully dude. And he always made sure that, you know what I'm saying, they was doing shit. Like he taught him how to throw a football, play basketball, that type shit. That just lets you know, like, yeah, he was really a good person on the inside.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. And they didn't show it in this documentary, which was kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
There was one year when he was about to fail. I think he was about to fail the 8th grade.
No, he did fail the 8th grade.
And yeah, and so then they was talking about like his absences.
He had 15 of them joints.
And one of the and there was another. There's actually two other ones. There's one that's really just talking about that championship year, but they brought up his early years and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a 30 for 30 on Allen Iverson as well. But like in one of the other ones, they talked about that year that he missed all that time. That was the year that his mom and maybe he didn't want his mom to look that bad.
Yeah.
But there was like situations like where his mom was like MIA and he had to take care of his younger sister. So he didn't go to school to take care of his younger sisters. So I thought that that's something that they would have put in there. But like you said, you know, he took care of the white dude because he was like, yo, people used to pick on him because he was the only white kid in the neighborhood. And so he used to spend the night over there. And like I say, everybody that know him, even the lady was like, yo, that's Bubba Chuck. You know what I'm saying? Like we always called him Bubba like that. That's what his name was.
One thing that threw me off, right, was when Jamie's mom was talking. And she was talking about how, you know what I'm saying, like, yeah, they always, you know what I'm saying, always
fried chicken.
She was like, I was cooking a whole bunch of fish and chicken and pork chops and all that. But she said they were all so tight, you know what I'm saying? They would have basketball games in the back of my house and they would just call them nigger just like everybody else. And that shit threw me for a loop. I was like, like, did she really just say that? Like, okay, like I guess, but I mean, it was, you know what I'm saying, that was it was not the N-word part, but just the fact that the way she was just speaking on, you know what I'm saying, how their childhood was. I thought that was dope because it shows you that regardless of everything else that's going on, that just shows you the purity of youth. You know what I'm saying? Like just how pure youth can be. Like the fact that they were all friends, they was all kicking it, they was all coming over to Jamie's house playing basketball, showing him love, just like he was one of, you know what I'm saying, like everybody else. Like he said, he was the only white kid in an all-black neighborhood, and they was showing him that type of love. Like, you know what I mean? That just lets you know, like, at the end of the day, man, like, you know what I'm saying, when you at that young age, like, yo, all that shit don't even matter. It's about who fuck with you and who you fuck with at the end of the day.
Yeah, man. And, you know, then, you know, you transition to football, man. It starts showing Allen as a young youth, man. And, like, just to see just how – and that's the thing. You can see it early. Like, you see the ones that's like, yo, that one kid right there.
Oh, yeah, he going to be a dog. Yeah, he going to be the one.
Like, you can see, like, they showed maybe, like, 2 games of, like, highlights. And it was just like, he's different from everybody else on the field.
Bro, that one where he was running to the sideline and that nigga shifted his hips and backpedaled and then shifted it in and turned it. He literally didn't turn like to face, like his back never faced the end zone. He literally was running side to side.
I know what you're talking about.
He shifted and backpedaled, shifted again and turned. I was like, oh shit. I ain't seen footwork like that in a minute, bro. That was crazy.
And then the crazy part, the same way he holds the ball is the same way Michael Vick holds the ball when he runs.
Just like him, bro. Just like him, bro.
Just like him. So, you know, then his football coach was like, yo, I see the potential in this kid. But then he was just like, you know, what Allen was going through at home. And he was just like, he's seen that he needed more help than just him coaching him. So he opened up his house to him,
Yeah.
and then that was really the change because I think that with Alan's mom, I think that she had him so young, and I think that not that she couldn't raise a boy. It's like
it's difficult.
For someone to if you have someone that's willing to take in one of your kids, and you know what I'm saying, you're already struggling with your bills. You know what I'm saying? This is a lesser mouth to feed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it makes it a little easier on moms because then you got a boy that's becoming a teenager. He's playing sports. He's eating a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I know that with myself and with my teenager now. Like, these motherfuckers, like, we can eat, boy, back then. Like, god damn, but like, dude, that's when I first realized I could eat a whole box of pizza by myself, and I'm like,
oh man.
It's like, man, like, dang, mom, I'm hungry. You know what I'm saying? So,
hey, listen, boy, that's when you got to get out there. My mom made me go cut grass. She was like, if you're gonna be wanting pizza and shit, I pay for the rest of the bills and regular groceries. You want to order pizza, you have to go get you some pizza money. I had to go cut grass, bro, for pizza, bro.
Dude, I'm telling you, but it's just like, so because I'm not like criticizing her as a parent. I just think that if you get that helping hand, I remember, what's your boy name? Play for oh man, what's that dude name? There's one dude. He went to Missouri. Got drafted by the Rams. What's that motherfucking name? He was a receiver. I forget what his name was, but like he was like struggling, like in school or whatever. And
when did he get drafted?
Man, this was like early. I mean, maybe like 2010, 11, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Man, was that? I forget what his name was, but like this family, like his coach took him in. And like after the coach took him in, because like when he was in high school, like he wasn't really getting like no scholarships offers and shit because his grades was bad. Because he had like a hard home life. And then when the coach took him in, he started getting his grades together, all the type shit. Then he ended up getting a scholarship. Like I could see his face, but I can't remember his name. Like he had like a few good years, but like he was never like a star or anything like that. But anyway, so the coach take him in. But this is the thing, like he was really a father to him.
Denario Alexander.
No, it was another guy, man.
You sure?
Yeah, man. It was. I feel like I want to say something Mason, but anyway, I can't remember. It's slipping my mind right now. But so he told the story of one time when Allen, was screwing up, and that was when he fell in the 8th grade, and he was like, he grabbed him and he threw him through a windshield.
Yeah,
and Allen viewed it as like, yo, I got to get my shit together because this man, he was like, he didn't take it the wrong way. He was like, I never seen him that mad before. And he was like, he was that mad because he loved me.
Yeah, because he was saying like how, you know what I'm saying, when you getting slammed, you already, you know what I'm saying, like you're already scared. Then on top of that, when you're around your friends and you see everybody laughing at you, then you're embarrassed. It's like, that's what got him, you know what I'm saying, kicking it into gear. Like, you know what? Like, I got people around me that love me. I got people around me that want me to do better. I think it's time that I get into it and get out these streets and really start, you know what I'm saying, getting on the ball. That was one of them things that kicked it all into motion, man. But like you said, that's what happened when you got those type of people around you who want to see you succeed and who want you, you know what I'm saying, to make it out of, you know what I'm saying, where they was at. And Coach Mo was one of them people that really did that.
Man, for sure, man. And then like you said, Allen, he put it in the gear, and then he was just like, there was a battle. Which this shit don't really like. This is like the underground shit of college, high school football. It's like there don't supposed to be recruitment and going to high school.
And it wasn't even for football; it was for basketball, though. That's the crazy part.
Hey, but I mean, dude, they were showing highlights of him.
Yeah,
Like, dude,
they was
even,
looking for him at as far as basketball. That's the part I didn't, because I had to rewind it because I ain't catch what they was talking about. And when I rewinded it, I know they were showing the football highlights, but they was talking about like basketball. They weren't even talking about football. So like when it came around the time for, you know what I'm saying, him to get to high school, like yeah, like you said, like it was damn near a bidding war.
yeah, to get him to go, you know what I'm saying, to a certain school. And
Mm-hmm.
so he ended up choosing Bethel. And that's when they bring in that family that you was talking about, the
Yeah.
his high school coach and
Yep.
his mom and his with the high school coach and his wife. And she was like, I was a teacher at
Mm-hmm.
Bethel, and because Alan said that, you know, he said I couldn't escape neither one of them. He was like, one
Yeah.
of them is my teacher and the other one's my coach.
Mm-hmm.
And so she said that when he was in the 8th grade, he was on JV, and she was like, she asked her husband, like, are you going to play him as a freshman? Because she was like, you never do that. You never play freshman.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I told her, if I could, I'd play him in the 8th grade if it was legal,
Man.
because he was that good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, it was crazy. And then what was also dope, this is what I love about, there's two things I love about Allen Iverson the most. That's more than anything that he's ever done.
Mm-hmm.
Is number one, I love how he wears his emotions on his sleeve. Like,
Yep.
this dude, he will cry in a minute. He would give you that lip shiver, like
Mm-hmm.
when he can't get nothing out. I love that about him because he's a very authentic person. And then the other person is how he don't forget about motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like, she showed the thing that said when he won the MVP trophy in 2001,
Mm-hmm.
he brought them there.
Yeah.
He didn't forget about his high school coach and his teacher. You know what I'm saying? So that was the one part that was dope. That cause she was like, you know, because she has like a whole like room that just got all of his pictures and accomplishments and him being on. She was like, I call it like the Iverson
Time
wall or
out.
something.
Time out. Nigga, what the fuck was that?
Hey, when you have the opportunity to teach, coach, whatever,
No, I'm talking about what the fuck just happened in your house. You raised your hand and your lights came on. What the fuck was that, bro?
Man, look, man, April just walked in here turning on
Oh
lights and stuff.
man, hey, bro, that shit just tripped me out. When you was talking and you did that and the lights came on, I was like, oh shit, this nigga got the glow.
I got the glow, man.
Yeah.
You a damn clown. I thought you was talking about what I was talking about, man.
Nah, that's why I was looking like that. I was like, did this nigga cut his lights on with his hand? What the fuck was that? I'm like, what the
Man,
fuck was that?
Man, what you think? I got the clapper over here or something?
I don't know. That's why I was asking. Because when you did like this, the lights came on. That's why I was like, I was like, the fuck? I was like, oh, this nigga got it.
Nah,
man, that's funny. But yeah, you're saying how you know what I'm saying, he was bringing the people from you know what I'm saying, he always was looking out for the people in his past.
Yeah. And so he was like, basically, I would play him as a freshman. I was gonna play him as a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
And so then he was just like, yo, like, I broke my ankle my freshman year, so he was like, I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do. But he was like, my sophomore year, like, that's when I hit the ground running, and like that's when he really started becoming like a household name.
Bro, this nigga had a football championship and a fucking
that was his junior year
championship. Nah, yeah. That's right. Yeah.
And like, man, listen, like, now this is another thing that was odd that they didn't put in here. That was in another documentary. They didn't mention how this dude still has a state record to this day with 7 interceptions in a game.
Oh, for real?
Man, this dude was a quarterback. He returned punts and kicks. He was a safety. Like, this dude did everything. And like on another documentary, it was the football championship game, and they was down. And so like the team had just scored a touchdown. And he told the coach, he said, now, people, this ain't in this documentary. This is me knowing a whole bunch of opposite shit.
Right.
And he was like, he told the coach, I'm about to return this kick and we about to win state championship. And the coach was like, oh, you know, he's just confident, dude. You know. that kickoff,
And
got
they
it,
returned it.
ran that bitch back, and then won the state championship. So like this dude, man, he was the
He was destined
trajectory
for
on
it,
this
bro.
dude.
Yeah, he was destined
Some
for
people,
greatness, bro.
some people are just great. Like even some people will say, I remember watching something on them, and they was like, literally, NFL people was talking like just by looking at his 2 years of high school football. They said even with his size, he would have made it to the NFL.
Listen,
they was like, now, he wouldn't have been a quarterback, but
right. But that's how they talked about Brian too. That's why I said, bro, like that nigga Brian was the same way. I know LeBron was a dog on the field, and they was like, yo, when they was showing highlights of him in high school at St. Vincent's, bro, it was like, yeah, he would have been good enough to play. Like, remember they was even talking about it, giving him a 10-day contract to go play with Dallas at tight end, bro.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that was the shortened season because they thought the whole season was gonna be gone that year. I remember that. That was when he was with Miami. That's the year they won the because I remember people bullshitting around talking about, oh well, I mean, if LeBron's first championship was a shortened season, it was like people always try to find ways to short LeBron, man, like all the time.
But I think that Iverson is one of those reasons why people are so reluctant to be LeBron fans, to show LeBron that same love that they showed Mike and Kobe, and you know what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that it's necessarily the I don't think that it's the him switching teams thing and him doing. I don't think none of that is the case. I think that with Iverson, right, him being at the pinnacle that he was, right, him being on that pedestal that he was on. Once he got there, there was like, bro, that was literally somebody being in a different realm, and it was like nobody hated Iverson. And if they did, like they wasn't gonna come out and say that shit. Like I know people who had Iverson jerseys who didn't even watch basketball. Girls was going around in Iverson jersey dresses. Like that's how, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how impactful he was. But I think that once it started to get to that end route to where, you know what I'm saying, he was on there, like we talking about practice to them points to then he ended up in Denver and well, he went to like Detroit, and you know what I'm saying, like when he was going to that end road, I think that's when, you know what I'm saying, the fall off started to happen to where people didn't show him that kind of love anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like I think for some odd reason, like people started to feel like a resentment toward him. Like, you know how they say they build you up to break you down. Like it was kind of like that. And I felt like when Brian got to the league, like I think that was the same thing with him, because like as long as he was with the Cavaliers, everybody was cool. And then like when he left to go do something different because he wasn't getting no help, then it was like, oh man, you know, he a loser, man. He's scared. He don't want to be good. But it's like, why would he want to waste his career in Cleveland? You know what I'm saying? And not get the opportunity to be as great as he could be somewhere else. You know what I mean? I just feel like that. I feel like a lot of stuff that happened with Iverson is you know what I'm saying, one of the things that kind of, I mean, this shit, it happened with Kobe, it happened with Brian, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it just happened with a lot of star players, and I think that Iverson was one of the ones who actually had to go through that.
Man, Iverson took the bullet for everybody.
Yeah,
like he was the sacrifice of like lamb. Like he was the dude that. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. So, like we mentioned, this dude was able to win state football. A couple months later, wins it in basketball. So, oh man, was it October? Shit, I should have wrote it down. October something, 1993. They all at the bowling alley. Everything cool.
Oh man.
And the bowling alley was near a town. I forget the name of the town, but
It's like
Confederate flags,
Poconos or something like that.
something like that. And like it was a well-known, town where they didn't really rock with black people like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was some people from there. Dude was like, "Look, we was on lane like 8 and 9." He says Allen ended up going towards like where 32 was, and he was like, "That's down where the concessions and stuff was." So he probably was either going to the restroom or going to the concessions or whatever. He was like, then we see this, white dude in Allen's face, and the next thing you know, he was like, whole brawl breaks out.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, you see one of your boys, somebody in his face, like, you gonna go defend the people that you came with. So then chairs start flying, punches was thrown, all this type stuff, and you let them tell the story. They was like, yo, if you see the video, they was like, if you know what Allen had on, you see him walk past the screen.
Yeah, you literally see him walk out.
Yeah, walk out. So so he wasn't even like involved like that. So then he said he calls calls Mo, tell him about it, and Mo said he knew right then and there.
They was gonna
Let me get they gonna fuck you over. Let me get you a lawyer. So he gets a lawyer because he worked at Howard. So he gets a lawyer that represents the school. Was like, look, we think Allen's gonna need some representation. So they fucking with Allen, saying like, yo, we need you to come down here and take a picture for a lineup. And Allen's like, he see the other pictures. He was like, man, these dudes like 25, 26, 27 years old.
Yeah.
And he was like, and Allen was 17 at the time. And he's like, the cop told him, the lead detective said, if you don't come down here and take these pictures, we're going to arrest you.
Yeah, he said we're going to pin it all on you.
Yeah, not only that, but he was like, they had a game.
Yeah.
And he was like, they played Hampton. And he was like, yo, this is the biggest game in the city. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, everybody was going to be it. And they told him, if you don't come down here and take these pictures, we're going to arrest you during the game. So he said he went down there and took the pictures. So he takes the pictures, and then he said that he don't hear nothing for like 6-7 months. And he was like, he believed what it was. They was waiting for his 18th birthday so they can charge him as an adult. So the crazy thing about that whole trial was the 4 white people that came forward. One guy was like, "Oh, Allen knocked my glasses off." Then the other person said, "Allen broke my ribs."
Yeah,
this one broke my. So you telling me out of all these people, it was a brawl between like 20 people,
bro.
And you say Allen Iverson?
He was just going through as a menace. People. Yeah, he was a fucking menace. He hit somebody in the head with a chair, WWE style. He bit somebody. The one dude, he bent his fingers back. I'm like, man, cut it out, bro. They're just saying anything, bro.
Like running through a crowd, just messing up. This is the thing.
He just I'm Ultimate Warrior style.
Person. Yeah, I'm just gonna fuck up like 4 or 5 people. You know,
he threw some dude down the bowling lane. I'm like, man, they was making all kind of shit up, bro. It was ridiculous, bro.
It's ridiculous, man. So but the one thing that the raw footage of those kids in there talking the day before the sentencing and stuff came in.
Yeah.
That part got me because you just got 17, 18-year-old kids, and Allen's like, yo, I'm going to say this. Like, oh, we ain't going to go to jail. I'm going to say this. And, I'm going to say I'm sorry what happened, all this type stuff. And then it's like, and Allen spoke. He was like, yo, I'm sorry for what happened, to those people. But, basically I ain't have nothing to do with it. Nah.
Right.
They sentenced this dude for and then they tried to throw the word mob in there. Now, see, if you thought, and see, that's the thing. And that's why I tell people words matter. If it would just been a situation where it said a group of kids got into a fight at a bar, it'd have been totally different. But because they called them a mob,
it made it more sinister.
Exactly. And then they sentenced
Then it wasn't even like for assault no shit, bro. It was for maiming.
Dude, this shit is nuts.
Like, hold on, just peep this though, because I had to do this too. I had to find out what this shit meant, right? So maiming, right? That was the charge. To maim somebody means to wound or injure so that part of the body is permanently damaged. There's no way that he was going through on them 4 people and them motherfuckers are permanently damaged, bro. There was 3 felony counts of maiming.
Dude,
like that just lets you know just how fucked up shit is, bro.
Dude, that's just the beginning of it.
Yeah.
So they sentenced this dude. Now listen to me, people. Because people jump on the first part, the second part. He got sentenced to 15 years with 10 years suspended. Think about that. A brawl in a bowling alley. 15 years?
And it was him and all his dudes too.
Yeah, and they got else. More. They had got
the
17.
One dude had 17. Yeah, the one dude had 17, and he got
some years suspended.
They all got 10 suspended.
Yeah, they all got 10 suspended. So
Allen you're right. Well, it was not 10 suspended. Allen got 10 suspended. Everybody else got 5. All their sentences. Yeah, all their sentences got reduced down to 5 years, basically.
Yeah. And it's like, and then they had this whole thing with the bond. So one of Allen Iverson's attorneys said, listen to me. The only people that get no bond is for capital murder.
Exactly.
Not regular murder, not second, first degree, third degree murder. Capital, he said the capital was different between capital is you could get the chair.
Yeah.
So obviously you could tell it was a message being sent to Allen Iverson. It's like
you get too big for your britches.
That, and also they was painting this dude out to be a racist too. Now they didn't really emphasize it in this documentary how much, because on the other ones, like they was going in on this dude like he was just a flat out racist. Like the whole thing started because Allen Iverson jumped on this white dude. Like it was, they turned it into a whole racial thing in the other documentaries. But like what really helped Allen Iverson in this situation. Now, people did march. People thought it was fucked up. Now, and this is anytime when the race conversation is being brought up, the one thing that always helps is when the white people or person can see the injustice. That's the whole point of what we was trying to do. And like Charlamagne says it all the time, use your whiteness, use your white privilege to combat prejudice. And his teacher, the coach's wife, she spoke on the stand and told them, like, yo, Allen Iverson, he's a good kid. Like all this stuff that y'all said.
That shit don't matter, man. When
but
they
this
want
is the
you,
most,
they want you.
But this is
the most popular motherfucking sports kid in the state right now.
But this is what stood out to me. Is when she said they wasn't trying to hear me.
Right.
And that's when she knew that it was a whole objective for this dude to get locked up. And see, that's what's important. See, the most important thing, like when we talk about people being, unarmed black men getting killed, in their car for nothing. All this stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna rattle the name. There's tons of names we can go down. I think that from that point on, I think that that's when this white family started to see the difference between black and white, because people don't. There's always sometimes a traumatic thing to happen for people to get it, and I think that she didn't get it, and that coach probably didn't get it until that courtroom situation went down when she was like, yo, these people wasn't even trying to hear. I'm white, and they wasn't trying to hear what I was trying to say because I'm defending this black kid.
Yeah,
So
I mean that's and maybe the reason that they worked at that school was because they kind of did know. Because I mean, you don't ever want to discount somebody for what they, you know what I'm saying, to say that they don't know. Because I mean, maybe they were aware of it. Maybe she was aware of it. Maybe she just
it's
wasn't
possible,
aware
yeah.
of how serious it was. You know what I mean? Like I think a lot of times that some people are aware of what's going on, they just aren't aware of the seriousness of it all. I think that was important too that you said that, because like I know in the documentary she was talking when they were saying like how, you know, how they was trying to split it up, saying that it was a black, it was like a race fight or whatever. And she was saying like, yeah, like Alan had all kinds of friends, you know what I'm saying? Like even more so, she was saying, I think she was saying like even more so, like he had more white friends and even had black friends at one point. Like it was because everybody knew who he was. He was a football player, basketball player. He was a star. He won a championship. So it's like everybody knew who this dude was.
He was a class
And
clown.
yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? He was so beloved everywhere. She couldn't even believe that something like that had even happened to him. So that just, you know, yeah, man. I mean, it's unfortunate that it happened that way. But one important thing that he said was, you know what I'm saying? Like he had said he talked to his grandma when all this started happening. And he was like, you know, with all the bad stuff that's going on, you know, so I asked her, like, yo, why God doing this to me? And she said that, you know what I'm saying, hey, I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to tell you this one time only. You don't question God. And from that point, he said, I never did. And I think that was something that prepared him for everything else that was coming down the line.
Yeah, man. And then it also helped that, you know what I'm saying, he was a national story, man. Like with him being one of the top football and basketball players in the country, Tom Havisham. He comes down. He want that. Now, one part that was wild was that they brought in like the CEO that was there when he was there, and this dude was like, man, this dude got tons of fan mail. Excuse me. He was getting pennies sent there,
man, money, all kinds of
money,
shit,
all
bro.
types of shit. Now, something that I skipped over, and I cannot believe because this is something that goes with both timelines. Also, during this time, that's when he met Tawana. And he was like, yo, I knew, well, he met Tawana before all this, the brawl shit happened. But
this is a high school.
yeah, his high school sweetheart, which he's still with today. And see, okay, I get that when I get there. So, okay, right. So then Tom Havisham comes and he says, look, I got mad love for NBC and Tom Havisham. He's like, if it wasn't for them, he don't believe that he would have got out, because if it wasn't for that interview, the mayor wouldn't have pardoned him, I don't think.
Yeah.
Even though, because remember that white lady, that teacher said, yo, people marched at everything. She said it didn't help.
Right.
She was like, it didn't help. But what helped was how NBC and Tom Havisham made it a huge story. He went down there and he talked to Iverson, and he was like, yo, this was a good kid. And he got railroaded. Like they railroaded this kid because like Drew said, I keep saying Drew, but what Mo said, he was like, they did not want to see this kid succeed.
Yeah.
So they was able to use the press, you know what I'm saying, to put pressure on the mayor. The mayor pardoned him a couple of days later, or I can't remember. They didn't really say the timeline, but a little bit later, then his friends got out. So now you go on the whole thing of with Allen Iverson finishing school. So they don't really show all this in this documentary, but so he ends up getting his GED. His mom started pleading because all the scholarship offers went away after this whole situation happened, which is not surprising. So his mom goes to Georgetown, talked to the great, you know what I'm saying, John Thompson. And John Thompson was like, yo, I didn't recruit Iverson. Like, I didn't. You know what I'm saying?
He said his mom did. His mom recruited him.
Exactly. And he was just like, yo, he was like, he just wasn't like my, type of player or whatever. And he was like, but he also knew, he was like, look, I'm a parent. He's like, she's a parent pleading for her child, um, to further his education and go to school. And so, he brought Allen in, and like he said, he took a lot of criticism for bringing him in. Kids talked about him on campus. And that's another thing that people don't seem to understand, like what he went through, because I'm pretty sure people had those jail jokes about him,
Yeah.
going to prison or jail or whatever, and and now he's being thrust into a college campus and he got to play ball, and then not only is he playing ball, this dude is thriving. Like, he becomes instantly one of the best players in the Big East, and like, with people that don't understand, the Big East at that time, that was the superior basketball conference of all
Yeah.
conferences. You know what I'm saying? So he goes there. And what's great about John Thompson is his honesty. Like, this dude is so honest with everything. Even though, like he would say, look, me and him, we bumped heads. We didn't agree on everything.
Mm-hmm.
But he said, but what I did notice about this kid was, what I'm saying, his relentlessness. Um, he basically did everything that he needed to do. If him and Iverson had a disagreement, and like even Iverson said, like, he wouldn't yell at you in front of the other players. He was
Yeah.
like, he would take you to the side. And he was like, he knew once he took you to the side, oh yeah, I got to get it together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if he took the time out to pull me to the side, then I know there's something I'm doing wrong and I need to change it.
Yeah, and then he said he would, ask him like, yo, you want to go back to the hood? You want to, your mom to keep struggling? You want your sisters to, live in that hellhole? And then, he said that would just light that fire up under him and make him get busy, man, and go to work. So, after all this happens, he has a hell of a year at Georgetown, beat the brakes off of Ray Allen's UConn. I think, didn't he dunk on Ray Allen or something in that game?
No, it wasn't Ray
That
Allen.
wasn't Ray Allen.
Dude, but it was so funny because you could see Ray Allen looking. He was like, "Ooh," like,
Yeah, like
man,
he
he
was
dunked
he
on
was giving
somebody,
Ray
bro.
Allen the business, bro. Like that was an interesting. First off, that's one of the most interesting drafts. You know what I'm saying? You got Kobe, you got Allen Iverson, you got Ray Allen. Was Ray Allen in that draft?
Yep.
KG was in that draft. I think Steve
Stephon
Nash was.
Marbury,
Yeah, Marbury. I think Steve Nash was in that draft. Like
Steve Nash. Yep.
that was 96 was the year, bro. That was a very interesting year, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? Iverson goes number 1, goes to the 76ers. Man, he he was just getting busy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, came out um showing out, playing his game, you know what I'm saying, crossed up Jordan. You know what I mean? Then it was just like every year after that, he just was getting better and better. Got to deal with Reebok. You know what I'm saying? Ended up getting his own shoes. Um, then 2001 comes along, and this was the rise of Allen Iverson. This is when Allen Iverson becomes, you know what I'm saying, the best player in the league. You know what I'm saying? 2001 comes in. Well, and that first year he won Rookie of the Year. I forgot to add that he definitely got Rookie of the Year. But 2001 he won NBA All Star MVP. He won the MVP for the league. He had a scoring title. He led the Sixers to the championship against the Lakers, and that's when it was like, he here. You know what I'm saying? He is here. But in the midst of everything that's going on, he's still going through certain situations. Of course, he still got a whole bunch of bullshit he got to deal with because, in the media they calling them thugs and they saying that he got this gangster image and he wearing all these baggy clothes and chains and C. Dolores Tucker was talking about him, and he was trying to rap, which I'm with them on that one. He should not rap. Jules was not the man, but outside of that though, like this is where you get to see how much of an impact he really had on the league and in basketball in general.
Man, you ain't kidding, man. Like, and then like to come out and have, to come from where he came from and how quickly that situation could do. He could just been one of those dudes that was just forgotten. You gotta remember, there's a lot of players that was cold and just got caught up in some shit. Never got to go to college. Never got to, you know what I'm saying? To come from where he came from, to be the first pick in the draft, have his own signature shoe right off the rip. And then one of the things that was so dope was they said, and I like the way they said it, it was like once Allen Iverson hit his stride, it was like then all these tattoos came and then these cornrows came. They were like, when we drafted him, that's not what he looked like.
Yeah.
So he just completely changed the game. And then, Larry Brown even told him, was like, dude, you don't understand the power that you have. He was like, you know what I'm saying? Like people see you and you are a leader, not knowing that you're leading, So Allen starts getting on all of these magazines, commercials,
Slam,
like this,
Reebok, Gatorade. This nigga was doing it all, bro.
Doing it all. And then what ended up happening is the fact of other players. It's like, shit, if Allen can do it, I've been wanting to do it, but I've just been too scared to do it. Next thing you know, they coming in the game, do-rags on, tattoos, sagging they baggy jeans.
Yo, when they was showing the shit that them niggas was wearing before that, bro, when they showed Kobe in that big ass yellow fur, I was like, yo, what the fuck was that? Like, who thought that was a good idea? I'm glad that them niggas was dressing the way they was dressing. I mean, because it was indicative of who they were, man. You know what I'm saying? Like these are young dudes who listen to hip hop. They follow the hip hop culture. I mean, I'm sure that they was, you know what I'm saying, connected with these hip hop artists one way or another. A lot of them niggas was even getting talked about in songs. So, you know what I'm saying? Like with Iverson bringing that culture into the NBA and making it a part of what the NBA was, I think that, you know what I'm saying, like Scoop Jackson had said, like, yo, he was the I mean, not Scoop Jackson, it was Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade said it. He was the bridge between hip hop and the NBA. You know what I'm saying? He made it cool for basketball players to have, you know what I'm saying, the chains on and the pants, you know what I'm saying, in the shirts and everything else. They was dressing like how rappers would dress, you know what I'm saying, wearing the do-rags and everything else like that, because that's really in all actuality, that's who a lot of them were. That's where a lot of them come from. You know what I'm saying? They didn't come from suburban homes with polos and khakis. They came from the streets where niggas had to wear baggy jeans because you had to keep your heat on you and shit like that. So I think that it was just, he was at the end of the day really just being himself. And by being himself, I think that's why he was so impactful, you know what I'm saying? And that's the impression that he left, because he was never afraid to be who he was.
Man, that is 100% true. And then what ended up happening was the league is like, but then the thing, Allen Iverson started become, the thing about the NBA is there's always this guy who they like to label the face of the NBA. They never wanted, like they never pushed for Allen Iverson to be the face of the NBA.
They were still on the Michael train.
He just became it. You know what I'm saying? And then once he became it and everybody started to follow, they're like, yo, we can't, something got to change.
Yeah.
Because then the fans started talking shit.
Mm-hmm.
The people in those executive meetings started saying shit. So
Mm-hmm.
then what really made it change was when Phil Jackson went on
Ah,
ESPN and starts talking about you need to represent the NBA in a better fashion.
bro,
Don't be walking
Phil
around.
Jackson is as great as a coach he is. He's a terrible person. Like the fact that you don't get it, because we just recently had this situation with Phil Jackson. We were talking about LeBron, talking about his posse and all this other shit.
Mhm.
Like the fact that you just don't get it. This has nothing to get, because that's the thing that threw me off, and I was like, "Look, like what the fuck is Phil Jackson talking about? Like he's not he wasn't promoting going out and killing people. Well, until he started rapping, but he wasn't going promoting and going out and killing people and robbing people and none of that. He was simply dressing how niggas was dressing. You know what I'm saying? Like he had the same clothes on that people were where he was from had. That's how people dress. You know what I'm saying? Like just like everybody else in the league. I remember when KG used to wear them big ass size 42 jeans with the big ass polo shirts and shit like that. Like that's how people dressed where people was from. So like I think that it really showed I think it showed a lack of awareness from the league when they started to focus on that and changing that rule.
Yeah, but then also it doesn't surprise me
Nah, not
the
at all.
way that Jordan portrayed
Mm-hmm.
himself and the things
Mm-hmm.
that Jordan said in certain interviews and shit. To
Mm-hmm.
hear Phil Jackson say that and
Mm-hmm.
Jordan was the way that he was, it don't surprise me.
Yeah.
So then that whole thing comes about, and then Allen Iverson starts getting this image, and then like he starts getting in trouble with the law and stuff. And a lot of it really circled his wife. And this is my thing. Anytime you're a public figure
Mm-hmm.
and you've been with somebody that long, you gotta think about, like I said earlier, he met his wife like around his,
That's
well,
in
I don't
high
know when he
school.
met her, but when he started dating her, it was around
Yeah.
sophomore, junior year in
Mm-hmm.
high school. Now we're talking like 15 years down the road.
Yeah.
Relationships get rough, yo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's a
and
fact.
people go through shit. But the thing is, they had their arguments. But the thing is, when the media is out to get you, they made it worse than what it really was. Like he went on, quite frankly, he was like, look, yeah, me and my wife, you know what I'm saying? We got into an argument. He said, but then the media tried to say that I threw my wife out naked. He was like, why would I throw my wife out naked? And
Mm-hmm.
then he was like, and then they started talking about a gun. He was like, man, they came in my house 5 days later looking for a gun. He was like, if I had one, it wouldn't still be there. He said, man, they got helicopters flying around my house. And he was just like, yo, like they was really like out to get me. And then the whole thing of his personal life and how he was blowing through money and all this stuff. Now look, this is my thing with Allen Iverson. I think that yeah, he did go through a little spending spree. But like he said, yo, when you broke for 20 years and then all of a sudden you got money, it's like, yeah, you want to have
Yeah, that's
fun, you
what
want
you're
to
gonna
buy
do.
shit
And then on top of
that
that,
you
he was taking care of everybody else.
exactly. And like the whole thing of now, don't get me wrong, he did go through a little spill where shit got bad.
Mm-hmm.
But even though he fucked Reebok over for a little second, like they brought the dude that was the VP of Reebok. He was like, you know, Allen came in. We had this whole commercial thing. It was in Coney Island, and he was like, we had like an hour left.
And
He
he said,
said,
"I'm out.
you know, I'm out. He was like, what you
I'm
mean you
out."
out? He was like, the fuck
Yeah.
you mean you out?
But I think
And,
I think go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
but no, I was just gonna say that even though you know what I'm saying he showed up to those events late and all that type shit, they came back and listen, dude, and that's why I say these companies have to start taking care of, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying, these motherfuckers. And Reebok did.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2001, now this was around the time that they was, well, a little bit after that. It was probably more of like 2006, 8. Everybody like, oh, Allen Iverson is broke. He's filing for bankruptcy. I think a lot of that bankruptcy was more of just debt that he didn't want to pay off. To be honest with you, you know what I'm saying?
Like our rich people do.
Yeah. So this is what people got to understand. He had a unique endorsement deal with them. So in 2001, they would pay him an additional $800,000 a year for life. All right. Not only that, Reebok set aside a $32 million trust fund that he can't get until he's 55, which would be in 2030. Allen Iverson is straight out here, people. Like,
oh, he more than straight.
But the thing is, it's like for a company to do that, they don't do that with everybody.
Well, that goes back to the fact of what we were saying earlier, man. Just how this lets you know just the type of player this dude was. Like, Allen Iverson, bro, he had me wearing church socks playing basketball because I thought that he had a big ass black sock on one of his legs. I didn't know that it was a compression stocking. So with me being as young as I was in my ignorance, I used to have these real black, real tight church socks, and I would put a church sock on my left leg and then wear a regular sock on my right leg, and I would play basketball like that because I seen Iverson do that once. So I mean, like that just goes to show you, bro. No. Just the type of nigga, just how much influence he had on niggas hooping. Like I wore headbands because of Allen Iverson. Like I had, and then like on top of that, I already had braids. So like I had the headbands, I had the wristband on the forearm, I had the one, you know what I'm saying, the one sock up, one sock down. Like, bro, the only thing I didn't have because of Iverson was his shoes. That's because I had on the T-Max. But dude, I still was like, I wanted to dribble like Iverson, all that shit, bro.
The two things that I used to do, and yes, I'm about to embarrass myself again. I didn't know what the sleeve was, right?
Yeah.
So my dumb ass got a long sock.
Yep. Hey, I know somebody who did the same thing. I cut
the tip off the sock. Yep. And I slid that bitch
fucking
up my
sock
arm.
on your arm. I know somebody who did that same thing.
Hey,
bro.
I did the same thing, but the sleep, and that's another thing. Changed the game, dude.
Yeah.
He wore the sleeve because he had an elbow injury.
And niggas didn't even know.
Now people just wear it for fashion.
It's stylish. Yeah, because it's stylish. Yep.
And that's just how dope Allen Iverson is, man. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing that I did that was dumb as fuck.
Bro, he was on the cover of 2K for like
I had that,
like 10 years, bro.
He was the first cover of 2K.
That's what I'm saying. He was on NBA 2K. He was on 2K2, 2K1, 2, 3. I want to say I'm trying to think. 2K10 was it Jordan? He was on like 4 or 5 of them covers, bro. Straight. I'll never forget that. I had 2K on Dreamcast, and he was on the cover of it with the he had the blue alternate Philly uniform on.
Man, that dude, man. And then I used to do the one thing where, like, when he would shoot, he would drop his arms really quick. Mm-hmm. Listen, I was in the backyard. I know I was like 2 for 75 doing that.
Trying to do that shit.
I'm trying to throw my arms down real quick. I couldn't make a bucket, man.
Bro,
but I was trying to do it.
I remember, bro, like the whole purpose of even trying to play basketball was we just played 21 all day, and everybody would sit up under the rim. When nobody guard you, we would all take turns just going to the rim, trying to get up and under people and hit layups, just hit wild ass shots, just knowing, bro, that's some shit that Iverson did, bro. Like that's just the type of player he was. Like if you was open, you gonna take your shot. Somebody come guard you, oh, it's straight to the rack. Or if you was one of them people who couldn't shoot, bro, it's going straight to the rack, bro. I'm about to freak you, bro. I'm about to hit you with something Iverson to do, bro. Like I'm telling you, man, he really was one of those dudes that changed the game. Like the way that Steph Curry got people shooting threes, Iverson had people shooting jump shots and dribbling and taking it to the rack and playing defense. And I mean, like he literally had niggas really playing basketball.
Yeah, man. And then like so, I'm not gonna cover it too long, but something that you mentioned, but you didn't mention this one part was that year, that 2001 year, like he won all of that stuff, and they lost, but the Lakers up until game one,
Yeah,
the Lakers didn't lose the
was
playoff game.
undefeated.
They swept everybody. They
And
had
they lost
one
that
loss
first
that
one.
whole
They
year.
went 4-1 against the Sixers.
Dude,
and
crazy.
I think that's when he dropped like 30 or 40 or some shit like that.
Well, the thing is they was down like 20 something points.
Mm-hmm.
Iverson came back. He ended up scoring, was it 40 or 48?
Yeah, he had like 40 something points.
48.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they came back. But like I said, they lost that championship next year, make it to the first round, get bumped out.
Mm-hmm.
So Iverson was like, he just keep hearing, oh, they're gonna trade you, they're gonna get rid of you, they're gonna trade you.
Yeah.
So he's like, he goes in, talk to management, and they're like, look, man, everything is good. We're not gonna trade you, all this type shit. And also in the midst of this, he just recently lost his best friend.
Yep.
So he was like, man, we lost the game. It's trade rumors, but management just told me, because he thought going out there, the whole conversation was going to be, are you getting traded? No, they just reassured me that I'm not getting traded. But when he get out there, you know what I'm saying, dude ask him, yo, we hearing some things about your practice habits, So he answers the question.
That nigga was playing with Aaron McKee, Eric Snow, fucking
Matt Geiger.
Matt Geiger, Mutombo,
Tyrone
Hill. That nigga Larry had Derek. He had Derek.
No, Derek Coleman was already gone.
Coleman was already gone. So yeah, Larry Hughes. He had
Aaron McKee. It was Snow. It was I said Tyrone Hill, Matt Geiger, Mutombo. I mean that was really the most noticeable
pretty
guys.
Much. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it was just like,
hold on, wait a minute.
Iguodala.
No. Kyle Korver.
Oh yeah, that's right. Kyle
that was early Kyle Korver though.
I thought Iguodala was on that team too.
I think he did. Yeah, it was, but they weren't on that championship team. Well, they weren't on that finals team.
I'm just talking about the players that he had around him.
Yeah.
No, not the championship team. I'm just talking about the players.
Well, not championship. Well, the team that made it to the finals, but they weren't on that team.
But like he had like Andre Iguodala, like if you look at the people that came up under him, like, you know what I'm saying, that just lets you know, like, you know what I'm saying, look how long Kyle Korver been in the league. Look how long Iguodala been in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like that lets you know that by playing with a guy like that, you know what I'm saying, that they learn something from him somehow, some way.
And also, and another thing before we get to the practice thing was the fact of Larry Brown. Larry Brown was like, people, when he won the scoring champ, people would say, oh, well, he shoots the ball 40 times a game.
He said, that's the only way we was going to win.
He said, I asked him to do that because that was the only way we was going to win, because they built their team to be a defensive team, and Allen Iverson carried the weight of doing all the scoring. So it was set up for it to be that way. And so I wanted to also mention that as well, because people used to always call him a ball hawk. So to get fast forward,
we talking about practice.
And he's like, man, every question just started to be about practice. He's like, man, what the fuck?
He said, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we in here talking about me coming to practice.
He was like, not a game. We talking about practice. And so then he said, then the owner of the team is not the owner, but the GM is like, yo, I got to go out there. I got to go save him. And this is the thing. They was done asking questions.
Yeah.
Allen said, hell no, I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, he was sick of that shit.
He was like, look, they talked to me about these trade rumors, and that's what I thought this was gonna be about. And he was like, I just lost my best friend. And this is the whole nobody played this. Nobody wanted, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they had like they just cut the cameras after this. And he's like, you know what I'm saying? My friend is gone. I thought I was gonna be gone, you know, all this shit. And he was like, and then also the way they did it about practice, he was like, look, he was like, there's no way I could be, you know what I'm saying, an all-star player, MVP, all this type shit if I didn't practice.
Right.
And they was saying that he wasn't saying that he don't like practice and that he never practiced. And he wasn't down. He wasn't talking down on practice. He was just saying like, we just lost a playoff game. And the only questions y'all are asking me about, and then these reporters had to know that his best friend just died.
Yeah.
Y'all know every damn thing else.
Right.
So you know this dude is going through something.
They even said they talked about it on the broadcast.
Yeah, and it's like, and now all y'all can talk about is practice. Right. And so, you know, then everybody made a whole big ordeal about this whole practice thing. People started making fun of it, making skits. You know what I'm saying? Because they showed Charlie Sheen. So it's like, so then Philadelphia gets rid of him. That's what you were saying earlier. You know, he ended up getting traded to Denver, and he had a good like this. That was the first time, and the only time Melo made it to a conference finals.
Yep.
Is that year he had Iverson on the team, Iverson, J.R. Smith, and all them boys. So they said they wasn't going to extend his contract. So then they trade him
to Detroit.
And then they wanted him to come off the bench. That's when he took the whole little spiel about whenever you ever heard about a former scoring champ come off the bench. When you hear about an all-star come off the bench. When you hear about, you know, this person, Olympian, come off the bench. So he made it clear he didn't want to come off the bench. So then they shipped him to Memphis. Get to Memphis, he gets hurt. And then once he comes back, they're like, yo, you coming out the bench. And he was like, yo, I don't want to come out the bench. So he's about to do his retirement. Philadelphia hits him up. So he goes back to Philadelphia, which that only lasted a couple of days, but it wasn't his fault. His daughter ended up having undisclosed illness. Yeah. So he ended up quitting after that. And, you know, to think about Allen Iverson's story, and this wasn't on the documentary, but for him to be a first ballot Hall of Famer after all the shit that this man had to endure, all the stuff that he had to go through, for him to still be a first ballot Hall of Famer, to get his number retired in Philadelphia, for him to take the path that he has taken, for him to take, listen, man, can you name another player, any sport, other than Muhammad Ali, other than him, can you name another player that took the blunt of the bullets for other people to thrive?
Only person I can say is Cap.
Cap never made it back though.
Yeah, I mean, I know
and you're right. Yeah, and you're right.
That's. I mean, I feel you. I'm just saying, like, only other person that even come to mind like that is Cap, because, you know what I'm saying, we don't got a lot of people that's done what those guys have done.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, Muhammad Ali, he had the whole country hating him because he wouldn't go fight in the war. So it's like, now I know Allen Iverson stuff isn't to that degree. What I mean by that is for him to overcome, you know, getting locked up in high school, him having to get his GED, him, you know, no schools wanting to deal with him, for him to have to take the mental beat down he had to take for people talking about him going to jail, and then being the first pick in the draft, and then everybody know the dress code is because of Allen Iverson. You know what I'm saying? You know, like that. I mean, this dude, he endured a lot, man. And then, don't know, man. Like he's always been that guy for me. I mean, anybody that know me, throughout high school and everything, everybody would tell you like I wasn't the Jordan dude. Like I was always the
Every
dude.
man, anybody around that time, if they tell you Jordan or anybody else, they lying. Everybody was an Allen Iverson fan, plain and simple. There's not one person on this earth who, at that time when he was playing and he was at the peak of his career in 2001, wasn't nobody like, oh man, I don't like Iverson. Wasn't nobody on that shit. Everybody fucked with Iverson, and I mean, like I said, he had the number one selling jersey. He had girls wearing jersey dresses with Philadelphia jersey dresses. He put the 76ers back on the map, plain and simple.
Yep.
Plain
Yep.
and
And
simple.
man, it's crazy, man. Well, I mean, it was a great doc, man. It's just the fact that me just like I said, I've seen maybe two other ones,
Mm-hmm.
so like I just know a lot of other stuff, and I was trying not to mix too much of the other stuff into this one, but I mean, it was a good doc, man. They put a lot of information in there. They made him more. It made him more human. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I think that what people do is a lot of people go off of what they hear in the media,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't really want to try to understand the man,
Right. Right.
himself. They go off to what the media say and the way that he dresses, the way he carries himself on Insta. Because I follow him on Instagram, like he's still the same guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He still
He got
dresses the
a he got
same.
a big heart and he actually gives a fuck about people, bro. He just want to see people win. And then you know what I'm saying, he's always making sure that he rooting for the underdog because he knows what that feels like. And that's who Allen Iverson is, you know what I'm saying, when it's all said and done. He's somebody who, you know what I'm saying, he he'll put himself out there so everybody else can make it to the other side. You know what I mean? And he's a selfless person at the end of the day.
Very well said, my guy. Very well said.
Yeah,
Couldn't
man.
say it any better.
Fire flame time, my brother. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Yoga fire. Yoga flame.
It's on you, man. You do the honors, bro.
Uh, it's gonna be a little difficult for me because because everybody know how much I fuck with Iverson,
Mm-hmm.
but just from seeing some of the other ones and some of the things that was left out in this one,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought would have been even more in his favor. Like I don't know if they ran out of time. I don't know if the editing team. I don't know if they had it in there and the editing team cut it out. Like I don't know, but there's still some other stuff about him that I have seen in other documentaries, and I don't know why they didn't put it in there. And I felt
Mm-hmm.
like it would have made it a little better, man. Um, as much as I love the guy, man, I'm gonna have to give this doc here, Iverson.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to give this one like a 3, man, because
Damn.
and I
Okay.
think the reason I'm going that low is because like I don't know if it was the editing team
Yeah.
or what, but like I only brought up maybe 2 or 3 things that I know about him that they did not put in here. And I
Yeah.
don't know why they didn't put it in here. Like it's like this other stuff is great information, but they did not put it in this one. And I don't get it. Like they didn't put when they show a few clips of when he was on, quite frankly, with Stephen A. Smith,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't even show the clip where he broke down on, quite
Well, I
frankly.
mean, if he was is involved this if he was as involved with it as you say, then I mean that could possibly be him too,
It
saying that he don't want certain stuff in there.
it's it's possible. It's possible.
Yeah.
But it's just if you really really want to know Allen Iverson, I mean I would say watch them all, but I just felt that there was some other stuff that could have been in here that wasn't in here, and I wish that it was. That's why I'm giving it a 3. It's not that it's a bad documentary. It's just the fact that I've just seen other ones, and it's just like, and this came out after those. So I'm gonna have to give it a 3, only because some of the stuff that was left out that I wish would have been in there.
For sure, man. I'm giving it a 3.5. Only because, just like how you said, man, there's a lot of things that were missing. I wanted them to dive a little bit more into his relationship with John Thompson, his relationship with Larry Brown. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, like they didn't really talk about his home life a lot either. So, I mean, it's a lot of stuff that I wish they'd have got a little bit more into. But I'm gonna roll with a 3.5.
I feel you, man, because it's just that I don't know why they couldn't put the stuff in there about that teacher that helped him get his GED. Like, there's a lot of footage. Like, dude, that was like 5 minutes. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was more, but they only like not advertised, but actually shown like 5 minutes of that footage on another doc. And then it's like they didn't put it in here, and it's like, well, why not? You know, like, they didn't really get into what was the other thing? It was some other stuff. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's a good doc, man. But
sure.
it's just the fact of just if you in this realm and you really, really feel for this guy, there's some other information that was left out that they could have put on there. So, but man, coming soon. Man, listen, I ain't even gonna hold you. This has been on the list for a while, and I got a confession to make. Boy, I almost did this joint without you, but I almost did a 28. Hey, but I've been waiting on this one.
I wouldn't have been mad at you.
I've been waiting on this one, boy.
Yeah.
This man, all I can tell you. Oh man. My man said, oh, how did he say it? He was like, nah, Jay Reed. You Jay Reed. I can't say how he said it, but man, listen, man. That motherfucking pool table.
Come on, man. All right. We ain't gonna do that one. We're not doing that one. Yeah, we're definitely not doing that one. Yo, fuck that, bro. I'm uncomfortable to even talk about that shit. That shit is ugh.
Man, listen. Man, we got something for y'all, man. This is, but you know what I'm saying?
Just know it's gonna be a lot of lip licking. Damn, I can't even say it. Lip licking.
Lip licking. Say that shit 5 times fast.
Man, that's
yeah, like this movie, man. Also, this we could talk about some mental shit because like I can say this. Going undercover.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like,
that's crazy.
It is, man. Like,
it's like acting. It's like method acting.
Yeah, it's real life acting.
Method acting. Yeah, it's real life method acting. Like you gotta really get into that character so much so that you start to become that character.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm ready for this one, but I'm ready for this one because this is and what I love about doing it the most. And I'm gonna shut up, y'all, because I know we went along on this one, but like, yo, I'm telling you, this movie's so dope, and it's like nobody talks about it. It's like one of those
people do, but it's a cultural classic.
It is, but it's more of a cultural classic than something like Boys in the Hood. You know what I'm saying? Like this is like, you know, man,
you just got to be a part of the culture to understand the significance of it. Like it's just like you said, if you ain't a part of the culture, Boys in the Hood ain't gonna hit the same. You know what I'm saying? Friday ain't gonna hit the same. You know what I mean? Like I talked to a bunch of my friends who aren't One as dark as I am. Yeah, I put it like that. And you know what I'm saying? Like they love Friday like it's just like one of the greatest movies ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the stuff that they laugh at ain't the stuff that we laugh at. You know what I'm saying? Like they laugh at the stuff you're supposed to laugh at, of course, but it's other stuff that we laugh at. Like when Felicia go, "Hey Craig, can I borrow your VCR?" Like we know, you know what I'm saying? Like we've encountered somebody that's like that. That was like, "Nah, hell no, you can't, man. You ain't gonna do nothing but sell that motherfucker."
She said, "Oh, I need to borrow your VCR right quick."
Yeah,
He was
like
borrow my VCR. She said, "Yeah, I want a double take." He's like, "Man, if you get my,"
you know what I'm saying? Like that's the type of shit I'm talking about. Like just little shit like that. Like you know what I'm saying? Or when Smokey on the phone with her girl and she's like, "I look like Janet Jackson." He was like, "Ooh, you look like Janet Jackson." Like you know what I'm saying? Like they'll never understand that because they never, you know what I'm saying, had to go through that. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's certain stuff. Yeah, it's certain shit that they laugh at, like that, that right there, like just him going control. Like we know it's funny because that's a Janet Jackson song. Like so for us, you know what I'm saying, we get they don't get that type of shit. So you know what I'm saying, like so yeah, it's definitely a cultural classic, man. But next Friday, well this coming Friday, I'm sorry, I said next Friday. This coming Friday, man, y'all be ready. We got something for y'all. We'll be back at it. You know what I'm saying, like we always are, trying to keep it consistent. Man, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for fucking with us. As you already know, man, follow me at Scoots Bronson on Twitter, at Scoots Bronson _TV on Instagram. Make sure you go check out my last interview on 15 Minutes of Fame with Hustle Boy. Make sure y'all go support that. 15 Minutes of Fame is everywhere. It's on all podcast platforms. So make sure y'all go check that out. 15 Minutes of Fame with Scoots Bronson, special guest Hustle Boy. Go follow us on Instagram at View and Non Pod, and go follow us on Facebook at the VA Pod Watch Group.
I got a beef with you.
Oh shit, what's up?
The intro beat didn't play.
The intro beat didn't play
for 15 Minutes of Fame.
Oh yeah, I stopped doing that.
I like the intro beat.
I appreciate it. But nah,
but,
yeah, I stopped doing it because like I said, man, because you know I switched over to a new host.
Podbean.
Yeah, and I'm trying something different, man. I noticed that some pods don't have that. They don't have intros. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it's for me. I want to be one of those pods. At least that one. I want that to be like something different. So I'm trying something new, man. I'm trying. I'm not gonna do any intros from here on out. We'll see how it go though. We'll see how it lasts.
All right, nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? I like them because I mean my main thing is always, you know what I'm saying, put my guy Casey on, trying to explore this music and stuff. So but
I am gonna get with Casey because I think I might want to do a outro instead of an intro. So like as I'm saying my, you know what I'm saying, goodbyes and everything, let that play in the end. Maybe that'd be something I might have to talk to Casey about that. But maybe that'd be something I add in, you know what I'm saying, and let that ride out. We'll see.
Bet. Y'all can check me out at s.foster8 on Instagram and Twitter. Both of those. Like I said on the last pod, I switched it over. So it's a 28 minutes or less pod on Instagram. Also 28 minutes on Facebook. You can check me out there. Still the last episode of Stolen Time Podcast is the farewell to Uncle Washington, where I had a bunch of guests. Scoots was a part of it. Also, my last 28 minutes or less episode is still the Hustle Boy interview that I have with you. Is I'm saying both of them. Go listen to both of them. Even though it's the same person, you get a lot of different stories. So check out both of those podcasts. And that's it, man. That's all I got.
That's what's up, bro. So yeah, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for listening as usual. We definitely appreciate y'all. See you guys Friday. With that being said, man, Like they say in Hollywood, that's a wrap.
Cut.